So exercise number 2 is going to involve the same kind of relaxed plucking technique, but this time we're going to be doing free stroke technique, okay? So that involves having the hand more forward, and after we pluck, the fingers are now floating rather than pushed against the neck string along. Now this is where guitarists tend to start curling their fingers in order to avoid hitting the next string, if that makes sense. So if we plucked like we did before and was trying to avoid hitting the next string, we'd end up having to curl up in order to not hit it, okay? But the trick is, if we look down at my hand here, you can see that I've still got my fingertip bent backwards like before, but I've now got my hand much further forward, kind of rolled forward, okay? Which is kind of half the job, because if I pluck now, you'll still hear that I'm hitting the next string, okay? It's a perfect pluck, but I'm hitting 2 strings at once there. Now, if I rotate my hand, okay, so that I'm now facing against the string, but in a diagonal way, okay? When we think about Pythagoras' theorem, the hypotenuse of the triangle is the long surface, okay? That diagonal line, okay, suddenly becomes a very long kind of clearance path for the finger to go. So now, when I pluck diagonally, I didn't hit the next string. Let's try that again. See? And if you look at my finger, I didn't have to curl it at all. I've just kept the shape exactly the same. So all I had to do was actually tuck, which is the second closing of the hand that we discussed earlier on. Okay? And another thing to be thinking about when we actually do this kind of pluck is that we are still trying to push the string inwards rather than sideways. Because if we push sideways, we end up with a sort of thin sound, whereas whenever we push down into our tummy with the plucks, we end up with a rich, warm sound. So think about that as we move into exercise number 2.